Let's see, maybe. All right, all right. Refresh mine. I brought my laptop out here instead of normally I bring my tablet out here, my iPad, but the my laptop lets you do some things like the polls or whatever, or I can put questions up there. iPad, you can't do that. The rain literally just kind of started dying down just as I hit go live. So hopefully it's going to be past us. And if you guess fits, you guess correct on the first poll. I tried to get roughly caught up, but I'm not 100% caught up on the. What's up, Someway, Clint Cole, Thomas Brown, Matt HMM, TPG, Wacky Wayland. Yeah, I'm hoping that it's gone. The rain's gone. I should have put rain on there as a option on what we're going to talk about. One of these days, I'm waiting until I get the quadplex done before I get materials out here to start on my building. And the guy who I order my building stuff from is gone to a trip in Spain. Not that I can't get it from the other people that are working at his office, but I'd rather deal with the guy I always deal with, and I'm not in a big hurry. This is the color shirt I liked. Yeah, I barely got home in time. I was on my way home, and I know y'all like to do the pregame because I got home like whenever I typed my first message on there. That's when I got out here. But I took a picture and just created the live so that you guys will be able to get in here early. Somebody said the rain will lead to internet. Yeah, so Tuesday's live, I went live and did the Milwaukee Stubby. And just because some of you weren't in that, I do have the fiber people coming. So we are going to talk about internet anyway. So the fiber people, the engineer already came and marked where they're going to put stuff. They've got the dig ticket in. And he said once they get the dig ticket in, they'll come put the cable in, and then they'll schedule time to do all the in-the-house stuff. So I am swapping over to fiber. But I did do some things with my mesh network. And Tuesday seemed like it was a little bit better. I changed some stuff around. And so we'll see. But here in the next little bit, hopefully I'll be on fiber. As long as it's not internet that makes for bad content. What's up, Woodchuck? He gets patches made. Oh, man, yeah. I don't know if I brought those out here. That's what I was going to get. I don't know if I brought them out here or not. Maybe if Miss Maintenance is maybe watching, maybe she'll find my patches and bring them out here. I was going to show y'all my new patches. I don't know if she's watching. I think they're in there in my hat inside. You're lucky I can't get fiber in my area. Just now, here recently in mine. It's not been here for very long. Fiber, talking about fiber. I'm going to run inside real fast. I'm going to leave my mic out here so it don't disconnect. I'm going to run in there and get those patches real fast and show y'all. It won't take me 2 seconds. No. That means they're out here somewhere. I don't know what I did with them. I had them in my hat. What did I do with them? I got some different patches to work with my infrared bag, but I can't remember what I did with them. Miss Maintenance was looking for them. See. So much Metamucil talk. I caught the end of that where Miss Maintenance was watching your little boy sitting next to your bench. Yeah. Yeah, she was hogging my regular seat. Man, that's going to drive me crazy what I did. Maybe they're in my truck because they're not out here. I don't remember putting them in my truck. I'm going to look real fast in my truck. Won't take me 2 seconds. Boop, boop, boop. They're not going to be in here. Nope. Yep, yep, yep. Well, Miss Maintenance, if you're still watching, I also need you to bring me my iPad because I put some pictures on there. But I don't know what I did with my new patches. You have plenty of time. Keep looking. That blows my mind. I think they got to be in the house. I just don't know what I did with them in the house. Miss Maintenance probably moved them. That's what I'm going to blame it on. But I had one question from somebody, and then I also had some questions that I was going to ask about some D-pads. I don't know what I did with them. I know I had them in the house in a hat, but... All right, let's pull this up. So it was based on the last live we were talking about cleaning tools, or clean. It's whenever I was cleaning tools and I talked about something was broke. And that was last. It was America Last. He asked if you guys could answer this. I'd love it if you maybe ask your audience around the world what they use to clean their tools. Houdini isn't available in Canada, for example, but maybe there's something comparable. Some other PTFE can. So I told him a lot of people have always said Ballistol to me, which isn't necessarily a PTFE can. But if any of you want to share in the comments what you clean your tools with, if it's other than Houdini, because I know some people in California can't get it either, like they don't sell it in California or something as well. So I told him I'd ask on this live. She's not at your beck and call. What's up, Chris? Man, it's going to drive me crazy about them patches. They got to be in the house, though. If I had them out here, they'd just be laying out here. But essentially, I got the same patch here that I've got in white. I got a black background. It was K1WE. He sent me an email and was saying, hey, I think that a blackout patch on your tool bag would look awesome. So I changed the background to black and then changed the ain't-nits to like a gray color. And then everything else is still red. But they got to be in the house. Or hopefully they are. Clean tools. WD-40 Wacky Whalen said, Houdini for me, even though you jump ship. If it's a flat surface, it's bound to collect things. I tried the super slick stuff and really like it. Yeah, it's the same thing as Houdini. Like I said, I can't 100% say it's the same thing, but it's the same thing. I use Zep water-based orange cleaner or Mr. Clean, some way said. And TBG said, I've used WD-40. If a tool is stained, rare for me, but I may use some 91% alcohol in it first. Clint said, I don't need to clean my tools. My wife says I don't use them. I'm a collector. That's the way to do it. You don't have to clean very often if you don't use them. Yeah, that's going to bug the fire out of me about them patches. Because now my brain's just going to be nonstop. Where'd you put them patches? Croc wipes work great too. Yeah, those are super good wipes. Best wipes I've used so far. I bought these based on I watched a video, and it was actually a video of like, and I can't remember what's his name, Shadow Foam or something like that. I want to say he was at some kind of trade show. It was a video I was watching, and they were doing this and cleaning off their hands. And these are okay, but they don't stay near as wet as the crocodile wipes. And if you get the crocodile wipes with the power scrub, like, they are super good. As far as for, I've been doing the LVT flooring for the last couple days and getting the glue on my hands and stuff. Just whenever you're laying that's what happens. And it gets it right off. Might they be in a Vito bag? No. My wife said, check your pockets for patches. Now, I had them in a hat inside, like with other stuff that I was going to bring out here. Which now that I say that, I want to say I did bring it out here. Because I want to say maybe that anvil and all that stuff was in there with it. But I don't know what in the world I would have done with it. But had I had the black ones, I would have put them up. I would have probably put them up here. That's just an extra white one. I don't know. Did you toss them in a Vito bag? It's not being used for anything important. No. Maybe let me look underneath this big. No. I think they got to be in the house. Like I said, if I had them out here, they'd be staring me in the face because I would have just set them on my bench. I'm going to turn around and the patch is stuck on his back. What's up, Elliot Parrish? Jonathan Stone or something like that. Yeah, that might be. He does a lot of like shadow foam stuff, but that might be what his name is. I'm not sure. Roy said, my wife appreciates the orange smell over WD-40. That's the big thing for me. Like, and I don't mind the smell of WD-40, but if you clean your stuff with WD-40, not even necessarily your wife, but if you do it and then you take your tools into a workspace and they kind of still got that smell on them, it's a pretty stout smell. Like, it doesn't bother me, but there's definitely some people who might would bother. Need spray in like Old Spice and Skin Bracer and Stetson flavors. You'll have a eureka moment in a drawer. Could be, but I don't think so. Like I said, if I brought them out here, I'd have thrown them up here. They've got to be in the house. I'm quit thinking about it, Joey. They're in the house. They got to be in the house. Elliot, got your stickers. Good. Wacky said WD-40 smells good. What do you mean? Yeah, it doesn't bother me. But like I said, I know some people don't like it, especially women don't like it. Women who haven't been around men don't like it. Still haven't really got any newer tools in the last little bit. There's not been a lot released, at least that I can get my hands on anyways. I can't think of any like new power tools. Now, I did see a picture on Facebook today of somebody in Home Depot that had the Milwaukee rolling box with the drawer. Took a picture saying that they'd finally found it in a store. So those might be out in stores if you've been looking for that. Always in the last place you look. I did a short today. I was in Lowe's. They have a Craftsman toolbox for $5.99. It's a 63-inch, fairly tall. It's definitely a lot taller than my little husky one here. I wouldn't say it's probably like a top of the line one as far as the thickness of steel. I didn't pay any attention to what that was. And all all the flag stuff that was on there are magnet strips. So you could take those off and it'd be just a black toolbox. So even if you didn't like the American flag looking thing in there, for $5.99 for that size toolbox, probably a pretty good deal. I like OWD-40, the new stuff that smells good. That smells good. New stuff stinks. Grunt Caveman Ooga Booga. One drawer is such a waste. The 1323 is better. Yeah, I like the toolbox. I really want that Milwaukee toolbox. It's got like two of the long top drawers. Those are the most useful drawers for me, uh, as far as just for a home toolbox, because I don't keep a lot of bigger tools. Like the one that I've got now, I've got two really big drawers, and I just got junk thrown in them because it's too big of a drawer to put anything like hand tools in, because then they just get lost. I can get a fancy Milwaukee one for $600. I keep watching because my Home Depot finally put, like, they had about 6 of the Milwaukee toolboxes this year for around the Black Friday, Christmas time. That's when they put them out. Mine has never had a Milwaukee toolbox in the store, and I thought they're never going to sell those. Like, people in my area just aren't going to buy that. I was like, man, maybe they'll keep them for a while and then they'll mark them down a lot, but they're still the same price right now. I check every time I go in there. My pack out drawer box is a 141412. Yeah, that one's probably a pretty good one. That one didn't come out till after I'd already bought a lot of mine. I think the ones with the 4 small ones, I don't think I could get as much use out of those, because how I'm using mine, the 3 drawer, that size is pretty good. The 2 drawers are okay to have at least one, like what TPG just said, just so you can put some bigger tools in it if you want to. But the 3 drawer size, the one that's in all 3 of the 3 drawer, that's a pretty good size for most of my tools, because I can kind of stack hand tools in those, and they're not too many in there that you can still see them all, but you can also still put like M12 stuff and M18 stuff in it if you want to. Need a boat to get to work. We got 4 inches today, and rain is headed here again. Ours is finally, like, there for a few weeks. We got like every single day nonstop. Now it's supposed to have rained every day for the last little while, but it's been, the weather people been like way off. That's like today was supposed to be from 1 o'clock this afternoon till all day was just supposed to be thunderstorms here, and it split in half and kind of went around us. So we didn't end up hardly getting anything except for like the last 10 minutes. I just got some rain here right before the live. Matt wants the Milwaukee utility cart. Yeah, it's expensive, $400. I kind of like I wish the DeWalt thing, the new, I don't know what the name of it is. I mean, I'm sure it's Tough System something or other, but DXL, or whatever that new system thing is they got. I was actually looking at that because I had some time to kill today. That's why I got home a little bit late, because I had something I had to do later. And I was just spending some time in Home Depot looking at it, and I really like the drawers of that system, and then like how deep they are and that kind of stuff. But man, they're just super expensive. Super expensive. Before y'all buy any tools this weekend, you better make sure you get Mama something. Get yourself a Vito bag, get Mama a SPMC. What's up, plumbing? So much rain. I bet there's tons of roofers. I'm enjoying my U.S. General toolboxes, Clint Cole said. Yeah, I'm typically like, I've bought 2 Husky ones in the last few years. One of them was so if you've watched my channel for very long, back when I first started the channel, I was still working at where I worked before I went out on my own. And I had a black Husky toolbox in my office. I bought that for myself, so I'd have that there, and I ended up just leaving that one there. I really like that toolbox, though. I'd like to have it over the one that I've got here, but I didn't want to mess with I'd already built stuff around it, and I didn't want to mess with taking it out, so I just left it there for the guy who was going to be taking my place. And but it was one of the deeper ones. I really like that too in a toolbox. Like this is just the 18 or 19 inch that I've got sitting out here in front of me. As far as the depth, I like the ones that are deeper, and that's what that one was. That's what I really liked about that one, was that top drawer was like really big. But I've had pretty good luck with the Husky ones. Like I just can't imagine spending, the snap on money and all that kind of stuff. And again, I'm not going to use mine for a living. Mine's just sitting out here in my garage. So there's no way I could spend that kind of money on a toolbox, knowing I could just buy a Husky and then spend $4,500 on tools instead of $5,000 on a toolbox. Just ordered the Vito TPLD. Will be my first bag. Really looking forward to getting it. It's a nice bag. It's a pretty good bag. I haven't used it a lot, but I've got one. I just got one to get the free bag last year, but it's not something I put into use yet, but it's a nice bag though. I kept it over keeping like my TPLC and all that. I'd rather have that TPLD bag. Project Pine Hills, I want that pack out one drawer for a dolly. Agree on having the 1-2 drawer, and the 3 drawers are the best. Yeah, I haven't, like, that was the first time I seen a picture of it in a store, and it was in a Home Depot. It was $249. It had the price tag on it. Now somebody in that picture took it and put it next to the original rolling box, and it is quite a bit taller. So I don't know about the people with the Teneo covers or tonneau covers, again, however you say that. I don't know if it's going to work with that. It looked quite a bit taller than your standard rolling pack out, but maybe the height of the handle was still the same. I'm not real sure. I tore off a roof today. Not happy about it. Jamie True said. Yeah, I've never done like whole roofs or anything. Now I've done metal roofs, put that on like buildings and stuff. I've not done house roofs other than just patching stuff, but I've never done like whole roofs at a time. That kind of stuff, as a person, especially that works by himself, there's so many things that I don't like doing that's exterior work, just because of you don't know what you're going to get into. Like that's one reason why I don't really like doing exterior doors that much. I do quite a few of them, but I don't like it just because you got to get it out and get it back in that same day, but you don't really know what you're going to run into when you take it out. You could have subfloor rotted out, who knows what. So it's always a risk. It's always a gamble of can I get this back together in one day by myself? Let's see. I missed something up there about poop. I saw poop. Plumbing said spent the day in 3 inches of poop water. Matt's got a Husky 26-inch cheap one that's under 120. Wacky replaced some sewer radar sensors. It's never really bothered me that much to work in that kind of stuff for whatever reason. But I can't smell real well. I haven't been able to smell for a long time, like real well. I can smell, but like most of the stuff that would make people start gagging, it's not so stout to me that it makes me that way. Let's see what y'all said we were going to talk about. Vito 49%, Internet 30, Klein 14. I do want to talk about Klein real fast because I'm going to ask y'all a question. So we'll go ahead and talk about that one. So I've been wearing the Klein sleeve knee pads under my pants. I like them, and they're still holding up good, the ones I've got. I was going to tell y'all that these, so I don't know if any of y'all have worn any of these, and you can tell me if these are better than the cheaper ones if you have. I know, Matt, you've said some pairs are better than others, but these are on clearance at Milo's for $20. So I was going to make sure and mention that to y'all if y'all want to try a pair. I don't know if these are a lot better or not, but I was going to ask you all if any of you have tried these, the 60628. They're $50, but they're basically sleeve knee pads from Klein, but they've got a zipper. So you wouldn't have to like pull them up over. You can kind of just put them around and then use that zipper. So I was curious just because I thought about getting a pair of those so that I can easily throw those on and off over top of my pants for certain jobs. Like I normally wear the other ones under my pants if I'm working around in somebody's finished house and I'm, don't want it to look like I got my pants all bunched up and all those kinds of things. But I thought about getting a pair of those so I could just take them and put them over top of my pants on certain jobs that I do. But the reviews were kind of mixed on whether they were good or not. So I was going to see if any of y'all had any of those. The ones you have are better. Okay. There's your. Those are Lowe's rebrand specials. Could someone in the comments give me the dimensions of the 3-drawer pack out? I'm trying to see something. I've only got a 2-drawer in here. I've got 3 ones in my truck. What dimensions are you wanting? Like outside or the inside of a drawer? The ones you got before were pre-Lowe's stuff. Home Depot, Milwaukee impact sockets, 3/8 6-piece set, metric and SAE, $19 special. Ooh, now that I just might have got a hint about what I did with my patches. Let me see. Nope, I didn't. I thought maybe I put them in this drawer over here. So $19 for some impact sockets. I have the 60184. I like them. Steve Rivera said. Let's see. That's this one, 60184. I have to look up and see which ones those are. Those might be the ones I'm wearing now. I think I bought the cheapest set at the time just because I was wanting to try them. Plumbing said, what soda is that? This one's the Fitz. That's in St. Louis. They bought them in St. Louis. Me and Miss Maintenance went to St. Louis a couple weekends ago, and we bought a case of just some variety flavors. I use the True Work pants with removable knee pads. Pants wear like steel, and I do floor work. Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna go ahead and buy me a pair of them and try them out. Or one of these days, maybe they'll send me some, and I'll be fancy. $40 Klein set that you pull on are the best. I made a post today too. If you're a pro member at Lowe's, I guess, because in the store they weren't showing up that. Of course, I didn't buy any to try to ring it up, but the Klein 3/8 Connect set, the essential set with the SAE and metric and the pass through and all that, that's on sale for $69 instead of $99. If any of you been kind of wanting it, but you felt like it was too expensive, not that $70 isn't still expensive, but it's better than $100. True Work XP are the T1s with the knee pads. Outside width and length, looking to put it on the bottom of a US General cart. Well, the outside should all be the same on all the drawers as far as the length and width. So, because whenever I stack my 2s and 3s together, they're the same. So, and let's see, you're wanting to put it on a cart on the bottom. So you would only, depends on how it works out, but overall worst case scenario, you're looking at 16.5 inches, what I'm gonna call depth, and then here you're looking at 22.5 inches. But you could possibly, depends on how big the lip is on your, because these only fill out a certain amount. If the lip on your one cart's not super big, you might could set this down in there and it overhang a little bit over the lip or something. But 16.5 and what I say, 22.5, and the 3 drawer is going to be the same dimensions wise. I just remembered I need to put these in my truck. I'll forget if I don't put them over here. Clearance Carhartt wallet at Tractor Supply for $8. I've been carrying this, and I didn't know if I'd be able to do it because I was a person who always had a wallet that was just, I mean, stacked with receipts and all that kind of stuff. But I swapped over to the Groove wallet. I bought this one day, it was on sale or something or other, and you basically it's got a money clip over here, and then you can keep your driver's license and a few cards kind of in a little slot right here. Now you had to buy that extra. It doesn't come standard on the wallet. It's kind of like an extra piece, this little money strap and an extra slot, but I bought that specifically so I could put my driver's license stuff in it. But this wallet just works where you slide this up and it puts your cards out, you know, and you can hold like 6 or 7 cards in there. But there's a lot of things where I don't have to keep my cards with me anymore, like my Speedway gas station card. I just put in my phone number, so I got rid of that one. My Kroger Plus card, my even my Lowe's card, I don't really have to carry that with me anymore because I've got it in my app, so I can pull it up in my app and just scan it. So there's a lot of cards I was able to get rid of, but this has been pretty nice. I didn't know if I'd be able to do it because, like I said, my old wallet used to be huge, but that being real small in my pocket, I really like it. Costanza. Yeah, that's basically what my old wallet used to look like, was George Costanza on Seinfeld. I got that wallet for Christmas. I love it. Elliot said, yeah, I really like it. I don't think I could go back to a regular wallet now. Another of our guests, the tradespeople, had videos putting pack out on metal utility carts. I use my Apple Pay on my Apple Watch more than anything. Yeah, I've not got into that much. Like, I hardly ever even remember to use the little scan with your card button half the time, but I always end up putting it in there. But I haven't got into scanning with Apple Pay and any of that kind of stuff yet. Google Pay for the win. Yeah, I was in town late today. I try to get home by 1 or 2 o'clock if I can on my normal work days, unless I do service stuff after the fact, but got home late. Gurgle doesn't need to know what I buy. Plumbing said Apple pays his whole life at this point. Yeah, my son, that's what my son does. He pretty much mostly does Apple Pay and all that stuff. Home Depot takes Apple Pay now. I always pay, which I guess I'm assuming like at Home Depot, I make sure and always pay with my Home Depot Pro card because I get 4 times the points. But I'm assuming you can put your Pro card probably in your Apple Pay. Wiley Hanson uses a leather Belroy zip-up wallet that's waterproof. I used to always carry a leather wallet, but I like the ones that almost look like a check register, you know, a little bit taller. Those are the ones I always like to carry the most, but I also just carried the regular ones too. But Wacky said Home Depot won't give me a credit card. I don't know why. And that stinks because the 4 times the point really comes out pretty good for me because by the time I buy supplies and all that kind of stuff there for jobs and buy certain things, I end up probably getting about $700 worth of gift cards a year probably from Home Depot. Plumbing's a bifold man. Wacky said my score is good. They just won't. I've still not went and got a Lowe's Pro card. I still just use my regular card. I don't know that there's much difference between the two on it because I don't know if they give you more points or not. I finally figured out I kept buying stuff at Lowe's and I was never getting points. Like, and I'd go up to the service thing and ask, and they couldn't figure it out. But a long time ago, I had all my Lowe's Pro stuff under, all my Lowe's stuff was under one email address. Whenever I started my own business, I upgraded to the Pro, the business account, and I swapped it over to my business email. And for whatever reason, they kept both emails, and they've been putting all my points on my old email. And I was wondering why I kept buying stuff and I was never getting points and all that kind of stuff. So for like 2 years, I didn't get any points, or I had them, but I didn't use them because I didn't know I had them. We couldn't figure it out, but I finally figured it out whenever I made a quote to go buy the closet shelving, window blinds, and all that stuff for the quadplex. And I actually went in there and they had my quote under my old email. And I was like, well, no, that shouldn't even be under that because I made it under this one. And then we finally figured it out. So I should start getting some Lowe's points too, I guess. I carry cash and cards, so I use a titanium money clip. Going to the orange next. Lowe's has my personal business jacked up. Can't get it fixed. Yeah, that's the way mine was for a while, but I think I finally did get it fixed. I had to go in and talk. And like I said, I talked to the people probably 10 times, go up there to customer service and talk to them about it. And it never got straightened out. But I went over to the Pro account to pay for a quote so that I could pick it all up at one time. I wanted to talk to him about it. And that's when the guy over there noticed it, and he's got it fixed now. What's up, Mac? Thanks for showing us the Klein kit, but I think I have almost everything in there and other. Yeah. Yeah, there's not much. Once you start buying those Connect sets here late, like they're all the same for the most part, just little pieces. Should get the Diamondback can koozie. It's kind of nice. Armor 15 said Lowe's sucks. I don't like Lowe's as much as Home Depot. Steve's Woodshop and Tool Reviews is in here. Use the Knipex Forge wire strippers today. Awesome. I don't know why you need a lineman with those. I haven't used my lineman pliers in a long time, but I mostly deal with, seems like stranded wire more often than not. And then other than that, if I mostly work on light circuits, I'm using Wagos. Speech to text is not my forte. Wacky said I reach for linemen's when I need a hammer. I use my lineman pliers whenever I'm doing drop selling wires. That's about the main reason why I use them, which has nothing to do with the use for them, but that's what I use them for. Best half-gallon water bottle. Thinking of getting another Yeti. I don't know. I want a cool color. I don't use very many of those, but during the summertime, I do put water in one of those. Like, I don't use one for my hot drinks like coffee and stuff because I don't like to drink out of metal. But I bought the big Milwaukee one last year, and it keeps stuff pretty cold, like the pack out one. Of course, they only have it like in black and red. But it's pretty good. Like, I've even left it in my truck during the summertime, and it still got ice in it at the end of the day. You're a thirsty guy. Yeah. Yeah, I've been stuck in town all day with didn't have anything to drink, so whenever I got home I was thirsty. They're building a Home Depot here. Lowe's commercial account rep came to my office to make sure we were good. First time in 10 years. Asked him if he was worried about competition finally. I think my Lowe's finally got a new manager because I've seen a lady walk. It used to be a guy, but I've seen a lady walking around and she seems like she's manager-ish, as far as watching her talk to the people and stuff. So maybe it'll get a little bit better because the guy who was there for the last 7 or 8 years, he just ran that store to the ground. Plumbing Woodchuck said he's got the Yeti gallon and loves it. Menards has Igloo. And I'm not even going to try Dub H Glass's name, but he says even the cheap stuff will keep your drink cold all day. Lowe's has a lot more Klein than Home Depot has. Yeah, definitely now for sure. My Home Depot still has like maybe 4 pegs worth of stuff from top to bottom of Klein stuff. Other than that, it's all commercial electric in Milwaukee back there, and then there's very little Ideal stuff. Max said pack out water bottles great. Found them for $13 on clearance. Yeah, I got a couple of the smaller red ones last year on clearance, the smaller ones. I got a black one that's the bigger size, but I got a couple like the normal size ones on clearance last year. Wings and Pizza says Milo's people just stand around and talk to each other. Yeah, I was back at the back aisle clearance, and it was funny because after I left, it's over there. Man, my store, it's like by the showers and the toilets and all that kind of stuff. And so I was leaving there and started going down the shower aisle, and a Lowe's employee started to turn the corner and go down the aisle, and he saw me coming, and I think he thought I was in that aisle and was maybe going to look for some help or something. And he, like, as soon as he see me, he turned around and walked off and started going another direction. Like, it was obvious he was afraid I was going to ask him for some help or something. And that's kind of the way they all are. Matt said, I can go to Lowe's and not say or hear a word from a single person. Mike said he was in a Lowe's in St. John's, Florida, and it was incredible. He said he wonders how long it would take for him to revert to the norm. All it takes is a few bad employees to be there long enough, and the good employees to be like, well, they get away with whatever, and they don't do anything, and it turns everybody that way. I need skilled 12-volt tools now. Maybe you scared the guy, Morgan. Possibly. I think he was scared I was going to ask him for help. That's what I think. Max said, I gave up on the back aisles. It's all junk. Yeah, mine's pretty much been that way. I did buy 2 big gallon jugs of Windex today for $1 a piece, though. But I never find any tools or anything at my Lowe's in the back aisle. Every now and then I'll find some materials that are worth buying. Few bad managers, more like it. Well, it's bad managers that allow the few bad employees to stay there. It all comes down to managers. Home Depot does not want to pay enough to retain anyone but a window licker. Yeah, I think that's what happened at Milo's because they used to have a lot of really good employees and they were all older. And I don't know if they made, decent money because they'd been there for such a long time or whatever. But there was at some point where basically the guy was just getting rid of all of them, bringing in new people. Funny, most of the Home Depot people ask me for help. I think if you stare at the shelves long enough, they get the hint. Yeah, I was in Lowe's yesterday and there was a lady asking the guy at the tool area. She was like, I'm looking for a wrench. She was looking for a ratchet. And she was like, but I need it to where I needed to go over a bolt. And she was sitting there talking to that guy. And I was over there just looking at Klein stuff, listening. And she's like, but I needed to go over a bolt because she was putting a table together and trying to explain to him. And he kept showing her the ratchets. And she's like, no, I need one, and he's like, well, you just need a deep socket. And she said, no, that's not what I need. I need one that goes over it. She was looking for a pass through is what she was looking for. And I said, so I went over there to her. I said, what you're looking for is a pass through ratchet. And she was looking at all the Craftsman stuff. I said, I don't think they've got any of these. I said, but Klein's got one down here in this set down here. And she said she was needing like a 5/8 or whatever it was. So I took her down there and showed it to her, and she's like, yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. And that guy's like, I need to get you a vest. I was like, I wouldn't work here for nothing unless you give me free stuff 100%. And even then, there's not very much stuff at Lowe's that I want for free. But yeah, that happens to me a lot. Like especially if I'm back in the electrical aisle. Seems like if you're in the electrical aisle, especially looking at stuff, that I get asked questions back there all the time. Morgan works at HD Video Idea. Just go around and start asking people what they need. I was the employee at Lowe's that saw you and turned around. You had toilet paper hanging out of the back of your pants, and I wasn't going to help with anything related to that. Menards used to be real good with customer service. COVID hit, and they're almost a joke. I'd very rarely see they're super nice when I go in the store. There's always somebody right there at the customer service thing and saying hey and all that stuff. But I've really never had an employee in Menards talk to me. But I passed several of them. They're always kind of at those little stations or whatever here throughout the store. And I've never had a single one say a word to me. Which in a way, I don't mind it, because their stuff's usually. I'll give it to Menards. Like their shelves are always like stocked, like with whatever they've got. They don't have empty spots. So really, I don't ever need an employee at Menards for the most part, because that's the only reason why I really need somebody at Lowe's or Home Depot is I need some of this and you don't have any down here. It's all up there. I need somebody to get it down for me. So that's what you're always looking for there. I got to talk to the Milwaukee rep at Home Depot. I could see myself doing that. I'd do that almost just for the truck. Like every time I pull up and see the Milwaukee truck out in the parking lot, I'm like, oh man, that's nice. Tell her to use your affiliate link. Big YouTuber. I can't stand getting near the breakers because it's a fire hazard, advice given. Menards is usually stocked, but some of their stuff is in weird spots. Yeah, I've finally kind of gotten the hang of where most stuff is in there. I don't buy that much stuff in there though. But lumber and like just weird plywoods, vinyl stuff for sure. Like if you do very much, if somebody wants you to trim something in vinyl, they've got some different colors. That Lowe's and Home Depot have only got white, but they've got black. They've got like a grayish color, a brown color, all sorts of stuff in vinyl, just different stuff, even sheets of it. But there's a lot of all the taping stuff for drywall and stuff that I use that Home Depot and Lowe's don't carry. I usually have to go to my supply house for drywall stuff to get that kind of stuff, and Menards has it. So they've got a lot of good stuff, like materials wise. Arma said, at least my Harbor Freight, if you ask them to go in the back, they do it. If you drive a Milwaukee truck, people will be flocking to you like children around an ice cream truck. Home Depot pulled the pack out, buy more, save more after 3 days. These tariffs had people spooked. Well, see, I was in there looking at the sign, and the sign's a little bit weird. Like it's got spend $4.99, get a free tool. And then it's got a Sawzall and like a drill with a couple batteries or whatever. And then it's also got spend $2.99, get a free tool. But then it has a deep organizer and an ammo box or something like that. And it said spend $1.99, get a free tool. And it had like a bunch of the wall plate stuff. So I don't know why it says, I don't know if that's what you get for free if you spend that much money, but it just has free tool on there. It didn't have any kind of tools for you to pick from. So it was kind of weird how the sign read to me. Like it didn't seem right. Let's see. Home Depot hires too many kids that don't care about their jobs. Some great kids at least willing trying to help. The Walk Compact router has gone from $199 to $219. Oh, y'all are scrolling a little fast. Appreciate that, Chris. Got the M12 installation driver for $119 using the Home Depot hack this week. I think that's what I ended up getting mine for whenever I bought mine. Because they had, whenever I bought mine, you got the free M12 ratchet with it or something like that. And I think I could return it for like $90 or something like that whenever I returned it. I think I've lost the head on mine. That's the quick connect. It's something else I've got to try to find. I don't know what I did with that either. This in-store pack out, buy one, get one is still there. I'm talking about the online one, which was the buy more, save more. Skill 12-volt promo is a better deal. I don't know if I can handle another battery 12-volt platform. Keeping up with more batteries. I've already got my Tabo batteries in my truck. I've got Milwaukee. I've got the DeWalt 8-volt, which those don't take up that much room. I just kind of keep that in my bag, but it's with your patches. Yeah, they've got to be in the house. If they were out here, I'd be staring at them. I know exactly where I had them in the house, but I also thought I could have swore I had them. Sometimes I put stuff in my hat to make sure I bring it back out with me the next day. And I could have swore I had it in my hat with that anvil, but then again, I think I brought that anvil out here a while back. I don't know. I'm getting old. My brain's not working like it used to. Matt's a diehard Skill fan now. I think he's had some Skill stuff for a while. I did see I watched a video. I watched it's like text. You know how they just go over a bunch of tools and it's kind of like an AI voice. Some of the tools are old, some of them's new, but they just update stuff all the time. And I think Tools and Tactics had it in a video where it's the skill driver where you can spin the head around and you can kind of put a drill bit and then also a driver in it or something like that. I did see that one the other day in a video. New pole patches for the win. Skill's such a value and they don't suck. It's hard to say no. Didn't watch Steve's video. Bad Joey. Yeah, I don't think I must not have seen whatever. I've watched several of his pliers videos in the last little bit, but I don't remember a skill video. The Skill battery where you can charge your phone is pretty cool. Did you look under the hat you're wearing? Yeah, it's not in this one. I hope I didn't end up accidentally throwing them away or something. They're in the house. They got to be in the house. Quit worrying about it, Joey. Stop thinking about it, Joey. Yeah. Looked for a specific set of car wipers a few years ago, called the closest auto parts store. They put us on hold and said they didn't have them. We went there anyway and found them on the shelf. Yeah. That's been the case before. Whenever I've really wanted something that Lowe's had, if it was a material or something like that I had to have to finish a job, and you'll be like, I need one of these. Oh, we don't have any of those. I'll go look around the whole store. I'll find them. They're up there somewhere because I have your app says you got 80 of them. You can't tell me you don't have one somewhere. Now, if it said 2 or something like that, yeah, you might not have one. But if it says you got 80, somebody needs to be in trouble if you don't have any of them. And then you end up finding them somewhere. They just don't want to look. Skill 10-inch portable table saws, legit. I really like my DeWalt little 8-inch one that I got. I bought it last year, maybe, or the end of the year before. I like that fence and everything on it. It's super nice for a portable table saw. I start looking on the top shelves for matching SKUs. Yeah, that's like all the Klein plumbing stuff. Whenever it first came out, they were like, "Oh, we don't have that anywhere." And I'm like, "That whole entire shelf is full of it up there." I said, "That's what all that stuff up there is." That's just like all the Klein USA stuff. I guarantee you, my Lowe's has it. It's up on the top somewhere. They've not put it down. Woodchuck said that's when you buy it online for same day pickup, make them find it. Yeah, not my Lowe's or my Home Depot. Both of them will just cancel it. Like if they go over to the shelf and it's not there, they cancel it every time. My Lowe's just swimming in that Klein stuff. Yeah, I laid a bunch more LVT floor today. I went ahead and put my 10-inch saw on my truck. I thought I might start baseboard today instead of laying floor, because we got the cabinet guys are in there putting the cabinets in, and we're laying the floor up to the cabinets so that if they ever have to pull it, later or whatever, they'll be able to get it out easier. So I thought I was going to we've got one apartment completely done flooring, so I thought I might start baseboarding there today, but then the cabinet guys got done with another one, so we went ahead and laid the rest of the floor in that one. Is your LVT pre-glued? No, it's you have to trowel it out and then lay the floor. Now that LVT stuff that's pre-glued, it doesn't stick nothing like, if you glue it down. In fact, if anybody ever even bought that and wanted me to put it down, I'd put down glue first and still peeling the back off of some of that pre-glued LVT. That's a job in itself. Like I'd have to even put a asterisk. If somebody wanted me to install it, I'd say it's this much. And then if it's a pain to get that stuff off the back of it, it's going to be this much, because I've had some of it before where it's more time involved to take that backing stuff off of it than it is to, lay the floor. Can't find my Roby mini blower. It's probably right next to my patches somewhere. What glue? FRP Advanced. Let's see, what's the name of this one? This one's different, and I like it. It's been pretty nice. It's more of a pressure sensitive, because I've normally used, it's always been the Taylor. What's the number? Taylor, something with a 50 in it. I can't remember what the number is on that, but it's really sticky. But man, if you set down a piece and then you need to peel it back up, it's going to pull all the glue up with it. Versus this stuff's been pretty good. And I can't remember this is something new that I haven't used before, but it's been pretty good. It starts with a S. I'll have to look, and I'll take a picture of it tomorrow. I can't remember what the name of it was. I missed some stuff. Let me scroll up here. Since I know we'll be talking about Vito here eventually, I'm breaking down my tech pack. It's just too heavy, even empty. I'm getting the MP2X for small electrical jobs. Yeah, that's the pouch I use the most, is the MP2X. It's definitely by far the one I use the most. And I would use if I had the 1X, I would end up using that maybe more. I don't know if I would or not, though, now that I've used the 2X. But I use the 2X more than my MP1, just because it's easier to take on and off with that clip than it is the other one. So, but I like the 1 too. I would always, that's my recommendation to people, is get a 1X or a 2X. Unless you know specifically that you're only going to carry a couple tools, then the X is okay. And then the MX, it's pretty big. So unless you really need like one to hold a meter or some parts, it's a little bit big. Still a good pouch, but I don't think it's going to be a good fit for a lot of people. I got that bag behind you for small plumbing jobs. The bag by the wipes. What model's that? Back there is the SBLD. This is the MCTP, but that's the SBLD back there. I took all my tools out of the SBLD, and I got most of them in my SPMC, and that's what the free bag for this year. That's what I'm using right now. Patches. Got my Vito MC Wheeler blackout today, Lock Hammer said. Nothing brings me better joy than when a Home Depot associate tells me he doesn't have something, and I point out where there's a pallet of them. Yeah, there was something at Lowe's one time I went to buy. I want to say it was like tile or something like that. Or it might have been lights. I don't remember. Whatever it was, it said on their app they had like 300-400 of them, whatever it was. And they're like, we can't find them. We don't know where they are. And whatever they were fairly expensive. And I was like, so man, y'all are missing 350 of these things, and they're $80 a piece, and y'all don't know where they are, or something like that, and whatever it was. And like they never did find them. I'm like, you can't tell me they ain't here. Somebody would be getting fired over that. And nobody, it isn't something somebody would have stole, that kind of stuff either. Whatever it was, I can't remember what it was. Wacky said, for real, I want some patches. So I order these off of Amazon. They just make them, but yeah, this one has like the tool reviews and how to's on it, but it's just a picture and then it's embroidered around the outside and it's hook and loop. But they used to not be that expensive, but now because they used to be free shipping, whatever they were, you get like 2 of them. They end up being like, they were like $8 a piece or something like that, but it was free shipping. Now, the last time that I just ordered these ones that I just got that I can't find right now, they were still the same price, but they had like $10 or $12 shipping on them now. So makes them end up being kind of expensive. Are you going to try a Vito Wheeler eventually, JTX Tools? I wouldn't think so. I just don't have a need for it. Like I've said before, the few times in my life where I'd been like, oh, it'd been nice if I could throw my tool bag on something and roll it into wherever I'm going, I'd just take like my Milwaukee or this Klein rolling box right here, throw my tool bag in it and roll it in because it's not something I'm going to do very often. So I just don't see that I would need it. What's your number one way to find work without referrals? Google Business, Nextdoor, Facebook, WG said. Mine's 100% just word of mouth. Matter of fact, I don't even, unless somebody refers me to you, I don't typically even do work for somebody. So like it has to be somebody I've already done work for. Usually just give somebody my name and then they'll call me and say, so and so gave me your number, said they did that, you did this for them. Can you do this? And then I just work from there. I don't do any chasing like work and giving people a bunch of estimates and all that kind of stuff. I don't have time for all that. So I like it to where pretty much the close rate on my estimates is probably 99.9%. The only reason why it's not 100 is just because somebody didn't have a clue how much something was going to cost. And it was just something that they were wanting until they found out how much it was going to cost and they didn't want it anymore. But like what Matt said, do good work and people notice. That's pretty much it. Every customer that I go to, if I work clean and I do what it is I'm supposed to do, I do it professionally, and I give them a fair price, and you just look like you know what you're doing. Don't look like you're going to murder somebody. Don't look like you're going to rob the place. Pretty good chance you're going to get business. Wacky Waylon, I said I asked like 3 times now something. What'd you ask, Wacky? Need to get some holstery clips. Wiley Hanson, I'm not in the trades, just trying to finally build up my home car maintenance kit with good tools. Any supplier usually have sales on the M12 full fuel 1/4-inch impact kit with batteries and charger. Home Depot's always had the best Milwaukee deals to me for the most part, especially if you learn how to do the hack. But the impact kit and all that kind of stuff, that's probably the cheapest you're going to find. It's going to be there. What company made your patch on your MCTP? It was something I bought on Amazon too. Same thing. It's the same as this one that says tool reviews and how to's, but I just got commercial and resident. This is actually like my business thing here. Wacky, you'll have to ask 4 times. I didn't see whatever it is you've asked 3 times. Been nice to just grab a small bag for exactly what job I needed to do. Woot has the M12 Surge with 2 batteries for $137. Yeah, there you go. Who was it that asked? Wiley. If you can get the M12 Surge with 2 batteries for 137, I'd buy that over the 1/4 inch impact. Matt HMM said, terrible work, terribly good work. I do work to a price point. My store has their annual inventory next week, which means there might be a lot of stuff on clearance. Lowe's motto, look up. That's kind of like the inspectors in my town. Like if you ask them questions now, a lot of times they'll tell you to Google it. Like if they come on site and you're just asking a question about, hey, I'm going to be doing this. I was going to do it this way. What do you think about that? Because it's kind of something different or whatever that we've not done in a while or whatever. And they'll be like, oh, you'll have to Google that and look that up. Wiley said, thanks, Subway. I'm just kidding, Subway. It was about the patches, but you answered it. Dub G said, I don't know anybody, LOL. Yeah, so if you're starting out 100% from nothing, then yeah, you'll probably have to do some stuff. Like you're going to have to go, I mean, you're going to have to get customers. So I've got a video that you might want to go watch of, I think I called it my first year as a self-employed contractor or something like that. So I only started my actual business like a couple years ago. For the most part, up until then, I've always worked for somebody else, but I did do side jobs and stuff like that for a while. And mostly it was side jobs for people who just needed somebody to do something. Wasn't even really that I wanted to do side jobs, but they'd call me and say, man, I really need somebody to do this and I don't know anybody. Is there somebody you can recommend or could you please come do it for me type thing? And I'd just go there on the weekend and do whatever it was. But I also, being in the facilities manager for the place for nearly 20 years that I worked at, I couldn't do everything there because just time won't allow one person to take care of that much property by yourself. So I'd have to hire some stuff out. So I had other contractors that I've worked with for 20 years that are still out there working, and they've got my name now too, and they know I'm out on my own. So sometimes when they're at jobs and they're doing work, a customer will ask them, well, you're going to do this for me, but do you know anybody that does this? They'll give people my name. So I've never had to go the route of, marketing myself, just because I've been in my community for doing this kind of work for a long time, even though I've not been in my own business, that enough people know me and enough people have been passing out my name that I don't have to look for work. And I also work with another guy. We work together on bigger jobs, and he's the same way as me. Like a lot of people know him as well. So he gets jobs, I get jobs, we do them together. I would recommend that to someone too. Like to be a handyman and just do service work only. Like if you're starting out, you'd have to have a lot of customers to be able to fill your whole entire schedule with just like hour-long service work over and over. I mean, it'd be pretty hard to get that full. If you can also take on a few like remodel type jobs and like basically make that be the brunt of the hours of your day. And then like on a day where you get a service call, you just quit doing that a little bit early and go do those service calls until you get enough customers. That's kind of what my goal is now. Is I'm not pushing hard to get a bunch of customers. I'm just letting them come to me because I got plenty of work. But in the big scheme of things, I want to quit doing bigger jobs and just have more service work where I'm just going to somebody's house for an hour or so and not just working like doing heavy lifting on, drywall, 5/8 drywall and all that kind of stuff and framing things and all that kind of stuff. Even though I like doing it, it's just I'm already planning ahead as I get older. I'd like to just pull up somewhere, get my tool bag out of the truck, go fix somebody's faucet or, whatever, and just be done with it. It's a lot harder to actually, this might be a touch screen. I can't remember. See if the touch screen works. No, it doesn't. It is a little easier on my tablet to scroll this chat over here than it is on this. So I'll probably go back to the tablet on the, matter of fact, got my tablet out here. I'm just going to swap over to it. I can go like this with my finger on my tablet, and if I miss something on this, it's a little bit harder. So let me open this up and I'll close this one.
Ready to lose the hat and regrow the hair?
Let me close this. All right, let's see where we were at. Grass is growing around me, Matt said. Yeah, I am. I'm getting in the weeds. You need to start a veto anonymous for guys that cram too much in their bags. Definitely, even if you're going to, don't look like it. I don't know what that was for, so. Yeah, I'm way in the weeds. Becoming grumpy as you age is standard operating procedure. Yeah, I think just the more you live in the world and you're around people more, and the older you get, you just finally start getting fed up with it. It's kind of like some people say old people don't have a filter anymore. It's because they've just been fed up with it. It's just how it goes. Clint Code has said patches again. He keeps putting it in my memories what you're doing. I know what you're doing now, Clint Code. I see what you're doing. I'm trying to forget about it, and you keep throwing it up my face. If I find them, whenever I go inside after this, I'll take a picture and make a post. But this has already gotten a little bit warm. I talk too much. Joey's been 15 minutes and fixed the clock. I've already taken it apart once and fixed it, but the little second hand is very fragile, and it's got a bend in it that's going up towards the glass. But then if you bend it just barely too much the other way, it starts hitting the minute hand. So there's like this very fine line to get it exactly right. The older I get, I know why dad got grumpy in his old age. That's like people say, you take your kids to Disneyland, you figure out why your dad was so mad whenever he was on vacation all the time. So far, no L's, no levels. Mm-mm-mm. I haven't ran into knob and tube for a while. Most of the places around me must not have had it, or they've gotten rid of it already. It's pretty rare. I think I have seen it in maybe and it's not been hooked up. It's not like in use or anything, but I think maybe I've seen it in a couple older houses, maybe in the last 10 years or so, but it's very rare. Breaking Free said, I'm 54, look 44, and feel 64. So I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm 44, probably look 54, and I feel 84. Just pull the second off. Yeah, I might try that actually and see if that's a good idea. I'll just cut it. If not, even if it doesn't pull off, I'll cut it and see if it still spins. So that's a good idea. Appreciate that, buddy. That's what's doing it. Because I can shake it and you'll see it start going. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it right now. Although I'll probably end up losing some of this if I do it by right now. So it's held in with a bunch of these little wires. Uh-oh. Here comes Miss Maintenance with some patches. I didn't look in the wrong hat. You looked in the wrong hat. You were the one looking for them. Probably a hat you moved.
In a different hat in a different cubby.
It's a hat you moved. Don't touch my stuff.
Do you want something from Buc-ee's? Because I'm running with Buc-ee's.
Yeah, you can give me some of the pecans. Patches. So you can tell me which one looks better. This in the this is in the frame. Doesn't stick out as much. Nice patch. I like the black. Joey's clock works. LOL. Yeah, the cutting off the second hand, that's going to work. That's a good idea, Steve. If I can get it all apart without breaking it. Breaking the glass. I was actually just sitting here thinking, well, it's not even working right now, but it's because I took the battery out. Yeah, we're going to take something. I'm just going to cut that off. But you can kind of see, maybe, if I can get it in the, it curves up and down, but man, I mean, you barely touch it. But then whenever I bent it down to get it away from the glass, it kept hitting this one. But the way that that's pinned in there, that's going to hold on the rest of it. So I'm just going to cut it off. I wonder if I should leave the big piece on there, or that throw it out of whack. Oh, I gotta line my screw back up right, make sure it's right. I'm gonna be in the weeds real bad now. But we'll know what time it is. Can we get a close up of the black patch? Yeah. Let me put this together. Moment of truth. We'll see if it keeps time. $7:20. So here's the, let's see if that's a close up. Can't see. Let me come around here. It's on a pretty big delay, so let me come around here and make sure. There we go. Still doesn't have the Sonota pliers now. Now what are people going to talk about now that the clock's fixed? Should be in the garbage because it's Klein, but that's a plumber's opinion. There goes the precision, no 0.000. Reminds me of Tim the Toolman show with Tim Allen. I need 2 patches. Where'd he get it from again? So I can order some if y'all want in the, like I said, I got them that say I've got like this that says tool reviews and how-tos. Like it'd be the same thing. I just change everything black on that to like this is I didn't get white because I thought it'd be too much. So it's like a light gray color. That white pops though. Yeah, the white does like show up a lot more than that does. So it just kind of depends on what look you're going for. I like the black better. Who on Amazon ? I'll post a link. I think actually, no, it was somebody. Somebody asked. I was gonna say I just made a link for them the other day, but it's probably in a comment somewhere, but I can't remember what video it is. Somebody just actually asked about them the other day. It was probably in the last live or something, or I don't remember. It might have been in. Actually, it might have been in the video of the MCTP and the MCT. I think somebody might have asked me about it there, maybe, or something. But I can post. I'll do a post. But it's just a seller on Amazon. There's all kinds of them that sell them, and you just have to upload a picture and pick what. Like you can even I could get red around the outside of this, but I didn't know what color red it was going to be. Like you can get red stitching around the outside. You can get there's a few colors you can get. But I was afraid that the red would be like something drastically different than the red on the bag. So I didn't want to try that because I thought that would actually look pretty good if that had red around the outside, if it was the same red as the other. But because like even that red in this Morgan's is a little bit different than, the red here. My vote is for white. Will look good on all your bags. Wacky said I wanted to put my company's logo on my Tic Pac. Yeah, that's a pretty nice thing that they're putting the places for you to be able to put stuff like that on these newer bags. Like that's a good idea for them because it makes it to where you can personalize your bag a little bit easier than, having somebody stitch something on or do something like that. The red on the border would be Pepto Pink. Where'd you get those blue cabinets? Clint Coe asked. Are you being serious, Clint? I think Clint's probably joking. Where'd I get those blue cabinets? And I don't even know. What's the other most frequently asked question? I can't even remember what the frequently asked questions were now. There's definitely one of no, I wouldn't say there's as many people that ask about the cleaning tools as much anymore. Man, I had some doozies this week on some comments back and forth with some people. One of them watched What was the last thing I did where my truck was in the background with the pack outs? I can't remember. Whatever the video was, I had, oh, it was like a short or something. It was a short. I don't think it was a new video, but my pack outs, you can kind of always see them behind me in my shorts. And he said, well, there's no way that anybody needs that many pack outs. Said something else after that. I don't even remember what it was. But I was just like, how do you know I don't need that many pack outs? I mean, do you know who I am and what I do for a living? And then he was like, well, I've been doing this stuff for 18 years and all I've got's a Husky bag and a van for parts. And I don't have any of that stuff. And you don't need any of that. And I'm just like, again, that might work for you and how you do whatever it is you do, but maybe that doesn't work for me. Or maybe I just prefer doing it this way. What's it matter to you? But there was something else. I've got it on here. Let me look at my photos because I think I put them in my photos. Let me see if I got them. Yeah. Yeah, that one was. You don't need all those pack outs. These guys today are so out of control. Oh, yeah, this one, the No Justice, No Peace said the reality is the inside of these veto pouches, the MPX, the MP1X, 2X don't fit Knipex insulated pliers. Do a proper review instead of being a veto salesman, please. And I said, it also won't fit a hammer or a nail gun. I assume everyone doesn't use Knipex VDE pliers. I don't, and I love these pouches, but not everybody's like you. Quit trying to sell Knipex VDE pliers. But I had a few people this week that were interesting commenters. I don't get very many, though. Everybody on here is usually pretty good. Where are your tools so clean you don't even use them? Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of, but I don't really get asked that much anymore. The thermos. Yeah, there's Steve. That's definitely number one is what is this? What is that big Klein thing you got back there? Where can I get it? Where do you stash your little Debbie's? Clock looking like it might be keeping time. Steve just made my day. Precursor Yang is killing me lately. He doesn't comment as much on my stuff anymore. Every now and then he does. Usually if it's a screwdriver or something. I think he's really big into screwdrivers. Questions about the thermos and questions about your daughter. They ask about your super young wife. What's up, Don Mendenhall? Looking for the best electrical contact cleaner. My ditch lights on my truck are not turning on and pulled connector apart and it's oxidized. I don't really know that I've ever used anything in particular that's specific. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just going to be honest with you. I spray Houdini on everything, but I don't know that it would do what you've got. But it's for electronic locks and stuff. I use it for all sorts of stuff. It is pretty awesome. But I don't think it'd do maybe what you're talking about. Some guy asked, how does an old fart like you get a trophy wife? Oh, yeah, that was me. That's what I always think is like whenever people talk about me being so old, my wife looking so young, I'm like, that's pretty much just a big compliment to me, in my opinion, more so than it is even about my wife. It's what you want, not what you need. Sizzle Neck said, yeah. Well, and it's like you might only, even if you do maintenance of some sort, kind of like me, that's still not really what I am. I'm a maintenance person, service work, but I also do remodeling. And I also sometimes carry tools for other people to use on jobs and all sorts of stuff. It's like nobody has any idea what somebody else does. Even if we're in the same exact kind of niche, we still do stuff. There's no two people hardly that do exactly the same thing, even if you're kind of even in the same trade, because it's just a different. You can have different customers. You can have to have certain different stuff on your truck all the time. Just there's so many people out there that think everybody does things exactly the same way as they do it. Like no matter what. Like if you build houses and somebody else build houses, they should have the same exact setup as you. It's like, well, it depends on what kind of crew you've got. You know, maybe your crew has to do something a little differently because you don't have someone that's as skilled in this set of thing as what they have, or, you know, vice versa. It's like everybody's could be drastically different doing the same exact thing. I have a Milwaukee bag that holds my Knipex VDE pliers. Maybe I'll do a video for him. Well, it's like, okay, the pouch won't fit the pliers you want. So that means it's not a good pouch. It's like, no, that means it's not a good pouch for you. It's like anybody else is not using that pouch for that. It might still be awesome for them. Not every tool is going to work for every person. Not every bag is going to work for every person. I mean, you could buy, somebody else could buy this bag right here and say it does not work for me whatsoever. And then somebody else can buy it and be like, this is the best bag ever. Because again, we all do it a little bit differently. Dremel with wire brush bits. How do you convince your wife to let you buy all these tools? The same way that I convinced her to marry me. I mean, look at me. Look at me, Mac. Emery cloth on a small connector pin. Hey, that's probably pretty good. I used to work on old Alfa Romeo cars and lots of brass contacts, Someway said. What's your most popular service call? Is it installing ceiling fans? It's probably like installing light fixtures, ceiling fans, that kind of stuff. It's kind of like that kind of thing. And then also usually plumbing work, faucet change outs. I do a lot of those. Now, as far as people calling me for a troubleshooting type thing, it's almost usually always like electrical issue, switches aren't working right, or, you know, something like that. But I do a lot of door repair and commercial stuff. Typically, that's what people call me for in commercial stuff. Then there's a few commercial customers that basically just call me for whatever that they have. It don't matter what it is. It could be painting, you know, to repairing something, putting up a sign, everything. Jamie True said Mac Daddy. Somebody said, yeah, mortgage maintenance, but really, that's what I'm saying. Some way, if nothing seems right, that means there's got to be something about me that you can't physically see personally looking at me right now that must have made it so that I can pull in someone that looks so much younger than me. It's just a big compliment to me anytime somebody says that. Lock Camera says I'm the eye candy too. My wife has a raised eyebrow every time the box arrives. Yeah, it's like I got this in the mail today. Cover up my address, but it was the Wear the Best from Vito Pro Pack. And she's like, well, what else did you buy from Vito Pro Pack? I said, I didn't buy nothing. That's the keychain thing that they send you all the time whenever you get a bag from them. So I've got probably 35 keychains now. I didn't even fill out to, you know how you can always get on there and fill out to get the tape chain or whatever. I'm like, I'm not even doing that because I got 10 of those sitting over there too. Wings and Pizza, it's awesome that you can basically do it all. And that's the big selling point for me to a customer, Wings and Pizza, is because like they can just call me and typically whatever it is they got, I can fix it. And the biggest thing for customers, and that's a big thing for commercial customers, especially in maintenance, is that like if they've got a plumbing problem and then also they just got something else, like they want a shelf hung or something like that, they can call me and I can come over on that one trip and do both things for them. And then that saves them that, fee from each one of those individual companies, a minimum fee for a plumber and a minimum fee for somebody, to come out there and hang a shelf. I can do it both in one trip. So that's the big selling point for me in the maintenance area of especially commercial stuff, but also somebody's house. I can come, I've got a couple residential customers that basically just keep a list going and then they'll call me once they have 4 or 5 things on their list so that I can come knock them all out at one time instead of, because I've got a minimum charge. And then that way I can just come out there and knock out 2 or 3 things for them within that first hour or whatever it is, instead of me having to come out there 3 different times, those kinds of things. Steve's woodshop said hung like a stud butterfly. Some way said he put on 5 pounds, 141. Well, big question is, some way, what pants you wearing now? Did you move up a pant size? We were all talking about pant size last time. Trophy husband. I bet my leg would fit for some way's waist. Elliot said, I haven't been seen 150 since elementary school 30 years ago. And Kiltronic said, Amanda's blind. I've got a bunch of those. They send me those instead of the tape chain sometimes. Yeah, I've got tons of the, I don't know if there's still one on this bag or not. The electrical tape roll thing, because I don't use those on my bags either. I bet I've got 30 of them things. Although I won't be able to find them now, but I've got a bunch of the tape chains too. Yeah, like these. But I've got a bunch of the little tape straps that come on the bags. I've got a bunch of those. But, Vito, if you get on there and say that you have subscribed to either like their Facebook or whatever, they'll send you, they used to send you stickers and I'd always get those, but they send you these. But I've got bunches of those. And then I don't know how many of them things now too. My boss thinks because we're electricians, we can do everything. Van won't crank, fix it. Shop rolling doors broke, you got it. How do you handle when they hand you the list and you get going through the list and say, oh, I need to add on this and add on this and then add on this, but then you have another customer schedule? Most of them are pretty good. Like I'll tell them up front, I'm going to come out there from, or if they start telling me stuff, I'll just look at my watch while they're telling me that stuff and say, I've got another customer I've got to go to, I'll just have to come back and get this on the next time or whatever. Because if they do that, I tell them, I came planning to do this and I've already got something else scheduled. But most of the time I do most of that kind of stuff at the end of my day. Like for instance, right now, I've always got a bigger job going on. And right now I'm working on the quadplex. So I go work there during the day, like from the morning, whenever I get up, unless I schedule something in the morning, like somebody calls me at night and says, hey, I've got this problem. I'll say, well, I'll stop by there first thing in the morning and see what I can do. But I usually just go work. Like right now I'm laying floor. So I go lay floor until like 2:00 in the afternoon if I've got some kind of jobs lined up. And then I go to that just one customer's house for the most part. And then if I have to stay late, then if they got more stuff, I'll just stay late and do it. Just it's more so for me for a scheduling aspect, just because I don't want to have to go back out there again. But that's normally what I would do if something like that happened. I'll just tell them up front if they start naming off stuff. I'll say, if I can do it before this time, I'll do it today. But if I can't get it done by then, I've got to leave because I got somewhere else I got to be. And I think most my customers, anyways, they would understand that, and they would know that I would do the same thing. Like if I'm supposed to be at their house at 10 o'clock, they know I'm gonna be there at 10 o'clock, so they would understand. If I've already told somebody at 10 o'clock, they'd expect me to do the same for that customer as I would for them. Can't ever get enough tape chains. Still a 29 waist, so it's got to be muscle and bone. Just bought some tape chains. There's two, and I don't know. If I dug down that drawer enough, I probably got 10 more down in there. They never add anything till you finish the invoice. Happy Mother's Day to Miss Maintenance. My dad used to call it furniture disease. Chest is over your drawers. So y'all are the guys they pattern work belts and pouches for. Yeah, I bet it's pretty hard for you to find certain things if you're that small of a waist and all that stuff. Just got my uniform shirts and they look like onesies. Yeah, I just recently got those two spider shirts and got them with the logo, which, like I said, most of the time on residential and commercial, on service jobs, that's why the vest to me was a good investment, because I don't know if I put a patch on that yet or not, but this isn't the one that I keep in my truck. This is like in case something happens to the one in my truck. But, same thing. I got my patches, on there. So this is kind of my uniform shirt with my logo, just so I don't have to spend as much money putting logos on shirts. So I have that. This would be what I would wear on a service call in a house or in a commercial job. But I still have a few shirts. I just got like some of those spider shirts and got my logo put on it just for wearing to estimates or going to a bigger job to bid something, whatever, just to have my logo on my shirt. Six inches to my feet. You need to do a tape chain giveaway. I might go I was thinking, it depends on what I've got. Whenever like I hit 30,000 subscribers, I think I might do like another one of those lives where me and Miss Maintenance come out and ask some questions type things. I might even just do it randomly sometime, but that's some stuff like that I never even think about, but I could just go ahead and add that into the mix, because like I said, I got a bunch of them. But I've been putting some stuff back. Like I've got some flashlights and stuff that like they weren't, like sometimes I've said it before, like if a company asks me about something, I'll tell them sometimes, if you want to send me two, I'll do a giveaway for that specific video. But then there's sometimes where like Olight will send me 4 or 5 lights, and I put some of them back to wait to give it away in lives and stuff like that, like this, just because I know you guys are the ones who are always watching and stuff all the time, and I'd rather it go to for sure somebody like that than, not that I really care who gets it, but I'd rather it go to the people like that are in this community more so than just somebody who so happened to see giveaway on a video and clicked on something. Put the blackout patch on the vest. See what it looks like. Now, see, they make these vests and stuff in black too, but I've never really liked black clothes that much. It's not too bad though with the black zipper and all that stuff. I'll see it on a delay here in a minute. Yeah, I don't know. The black might look pretty good on there with the black zipper and all that. Move it over a little. Add suspender harness, no room for bags. You need a blue vest to wear to Lowe's. He walks through Lowe's like Ron Swanson telling the workers, I know more than you. Yeah, that was one of the funny, like I can remember watching that the first time. Like I never laughed so hard in my life. That's like, I've got the, because whenever I saw it, I'm like, that is dead up what goes through my mind every time somebody asks me that. That's what I've got on my mug right there. My square fell off my top up there. That's why I quit putting those up there. It fell off one day and broke my handle off, which I never used it for coffee anyways, but it broke my handle off. I approved the black patch. Yeah, I kind of like the look of that on here. Black and red is so smooth. And see, I've been a Louisville Cardinal fan like my whole life. So I've always been a red and black person anyways. I never had Milwaukee tools, and then I started buying Milwaukee. So I had a lot of red stuff just period anyways. I always liked red as a color. And so then whenever I started buying Milwaukee stuff, it's a color I like. So fell in love as soon as I saw the Vito blackout bag. So I'm thinking I like that black patch better as well. Missed maintenance, and my son said they were going to Buc-ee's. They've been gone for a long time. Supposed to be bringing me back some peanuts or some pecans. Google the beltless system at least and take a peek. You can use whatever bags and suspenders you already own. I think he's talking to Someway, I think. Buc-ee's, we don't have them here. We just got one really close to us in the last year or so. There's some in. I've been to one before. I've been to the one that's close to us, but it's right up the road from us now. She said she's on her way back. White background is definitely more visible at a distance. Yeah, that's for sure. That's like, I mean, it made it stick out on there big time, but isn't it nice to keep up on what the hubby's doing? Arma wished you a happy Mother's Day, Miss Maintenance, earlier. Arma 15 did. I don't know if you saw that or not. White is more visible, but the black is nice looking. My 2 cents. What's up, Timinator? White more visible, black's cooler. I don't necessarily care that somebody anybody that's this close to me is going to be able to read it. Like from far away, it doesn't matter to me so much if somebody sees it. I said it don't have my phone number or anything like that on it, so I don't put my phone number on anything. That's the one thing about the tool companies that ask me to send me stuff all the time. I finally have made myself a response, so I have to quit typing the same thing over and over again, kind of like the frequently asked questions. But they always want your phone number, and they say it's only for deliveries. We just want it. We just need it so that the delivery driver will have it. I'm like, no, I'm not giving you my phone number. I was like, I don't give anybody my phone number because I'm a contractor, and the only people that got my phone number are the people who are calling me for my business, and I'm not dealing with a bunch of people calling me throughout the day. So I've got it in my little thing that I send people at the end. I will not give you my phone number. If you need my phone number, then just don't plan on sending me the thing because I'm not going to give you my phone number. You get her a new M12 Impact for Mother's Day. Something kind of like it. An Impact of sorts. Joey's clockwork seems to do good work. Time is still accurate. Yeah, that's a game changer, Steve. Appreciate that because I can't tell you how many times I took that thing down and reset it. Abraham said saucy. So you got it, I guess. I've waited too long to drink this thing. It's a little bit warm. Warm orange isn't that great. Yeah, my favorite one that I got was the one that I got while I was in St. Louis. It was key lime pie, and it was pretty good. The black cherry one, okay, not bad. The Cardinal cream, I saved it. I've already drunk the other ones of those, but it's pretty much like Big Red. It's pretty good. And then the cream soda and the root beer and the grape are the other ones that I had in there. Wife impact. I made the mistake of giving Walmart Pharmacy my phone number. My phone dinged with one of their texts before I walked away from the counter. Told them immediately just remove my number. You've been holding it forever, too. Yeah, it's DeWalt 10 pocket leather bag with a carry handle, leather hammer loop, and various tough built holsters, clips, and pouches. What's up, Sam Held? Good night, buddy. Off to prep for tomorrow. Yeah, I got to remember to take my extra Craftsman sawhorses. I keep my Stanley ones in my truck all the time, but I need to move that baseboard around. I've got it all in one apartment, and I'm going to go ahead and start moving it around tomorrow. So I'm going to take my Craftsman ones that I got on a deal. They're basically the same exact ones as my Stanleys. Start spreading that baseboard out throughout the apartments. I'm going to try to film. I've got a shutter job where I've got to go and fix some shutters. I'm going to try to film that, but I got to wait for a good weather day for that. And this whole week's not been good for that. I'm going to try to film that. I'm hoping I get some stuff where I can do the Watch Me Works. Whenever I do baseboard, I think I'm going to try to just film me working. And if something comes up that might be a tip, then it just so happened to will. But I'm going to try to film that too, because it should be. I haven't filmed a lot in the quadplex because it's been me and my buddy working together for the most part on all of it, like laying floor and stuff. So he'd be in it all the time. I don't know that he wants to be. So, but the baseboard will probably kind of split up in apartments. So I'll probably try to film that. But the shutter job, I'm going to plan on trying to film because I think it's a pretty good fix for if you've got. I had a little pen out here I was saving in case I needed to show what I was working on, but I'll have some whenever I do it. The little plastic pins that a lot of people put shutters up with, it's actually what they give you to put shutters up with. Guys got a lot of those breaking, and I got to wait. I went over there and figured out what the best fix, in my opinion, is for it, so I'm going to film that. Need a koozie. You can make mundane stuff interesting. Drill Easy from Brazil. What's up, Broca? I don't know if that's right or not. That's how I read it. Broca Facile. The Diamondback koozie is good stuff. Clip it to your belt. Yeah, most of the time as far as working wise, drinks, like I don't keep drinks in a cooler or anything like that. I don't drink a lot throughout the day. I probably need to drink more water and stuff, which I usually during the summertime, I'll fill up that big Milwaukee thing. That's about it. But I'm always one where if during the day I want to get something to drink, I just go to a gas station and get something out of the cooler instead of trying to keep up with something and keep it cold all day. But again, it's because I don't drink a lot throughout the day. What's up, Lexi? Wings and Pizza got your eye on any new tools? No, that's why I said it earlier. I haven't really seen a whole lot of stuff come out in the last little bit. Doesn't seem like to me. I mean, Milwaukee hadn't really released anything spectacular, like new, that would be like, oh, I have to have that type thing. Like something that either a new version of something or anything like that. And I haven't seen a lot of stuff. I picked up a few little oddball things. I'll probably end up putting in a tool haul video that I've been saving 2 or 3 things together just for that, because they're all just small things. But I haven't seen anything that I'm just like, oh, that's going to come out here in the next little bit. I'm going to make sure I buy that. It's been kind of a slow couple months for new tools. Holstery has magnet koozies. Waiting on the Tough Built drawer boxes. DeWalt has a new super quiet vacuum. I did see a DeWalt add-on. I don't know how it works, but it's a nut runner or something like that. I think I saw a video for it today. Maybe it was a short, or I don't remember. It almost kind of looked like you added it on to an impact. It was kind of like the copper cutter and the PVC cutter. You know, you put it on the impact. It's called a nut runner, but essentially it's like a pass through. But it looked like it was like just I don't know how it worked. The video was real short, didn't go into details about it. I don't know if you had to change anything on the size or if it adjusts to the size of whatever you're running or how that works. But I did see that. It's kind of interesting looking. Got a chance to use my hammer drill. Tap cons into concrete. Rafter hook is great. Just had it on my belt. Yeah, that's the biggest thing on that new M12 that I like the most. The fact that it's got chiseling's great, but it's the rafter hook is nice. Warm nuts from Buc-ee's. And these are only good if they're warm, so y'all are going to have to listen to me eat them. Sizzle neck, those Craftsman sawhorses are awesome at the holiday prices. Yeah, they're the only sawhorses I really even use anymore. I've got some of those super heavy cobalt ones, and I don't even get them out anymore. Matter of fact, I'd probably give them to somebody if they wanted them, because they're so heavy and they take forever to get all the feet out. Wacky said, is it faster than an M18 fuel hammer drill? The rotary hammers are. Depends on what you're going into. Like if you're going into concrete block, the M18 hammer drill is really good. But if you're going into like solid concrete or something, the rotary hammer's a lot faster. Hot soda, cold nuts. Put that on a t-shirt. They would cost so much to ship. Oh yeah, I didn't mean like give them away on like this. I'm talking about if I find somebody on a job site that needs some sawhorses, they might get some cobalt sawhorses. Then we find out he's got nut allergies. I've ate these a bunch of times. Chris got his spring promo bags today. Don lost his Knipex 10-inch adjustable cobras. It always stinks whenever you lose, like especially when you lose a tool that's how I feel right now about the head for my installation driver, because I've been using it without that and it's fine without it. Like it doesn't matter to me. You can just stick something in there. It's magnetic. But then you run into every now and then whenever I pull off of something, my bit comes out with it instead of it being hooked into that collet. Because it doesn't really, I'm not mad about not having it it makes it to where I can't use it. It's just every now and then I don't like not having that quick change on there just to hold the bit in place or hold my bit holder more so than changing out the bits. Bought a rotary hammer about a year ago. Will never go back to a hammer drill. Lost my tape last week. Felt like I lost a family member. Timinator picked up the SC45. Love the coconut pie in a cup at Buc-ee's. I've not tried that. I did try their banana pudding one time. It's pretty good. I think I've had their banana pudding. I've had most of their cookies. Their peanut butter cookies are pretty good. Uh, then there's like a paddle tail or something like that. I can't remember what they called it, but I tried one of those. And then they've also got like a whoopie pies of different flavors. I've got a couple of those different times. Jonathan said, "Can you buy a replacement quick change head?" I looked around on eBay hoping maybe I could find somebody just selling the heads, but I haven't seen them for sale by themselves. I'm kind of hoping that they would come out with a newer version of that myself too. So that's why I'm like, well, maybe they'll come out with something new with that here in the next little bit. Brisket for the win, Woodchuck. Yeah, they've got a sandwich that I like that's there. Of course, all their sandwiches and stuff are pretty expensive, which most of their stuff in there is pretty expensive. But like their brisket sandwiches and all that, pretty high. But they've got a sandwich. It's called like their 3-meat something or something like that. It's got their brisket, and then it's got like their smoked sausage of some kind. And I can't remember what the other thing is. Maybe it's turkey or something like that, all on the same sandwich. But it's not so much the 3 meats. They've got some kind of special sauce that they put on that sandwich that's really good. But man, they're expensive. It's like a $15 sandwich or something like that. I'm hoping someday to find the wormhole where all the 10mm sockets went missing. Beef jerky. Yeah, I haven't tried any of their beef jerky yet at the Buc-ee's. Wacky said Buc-ee's is expensive. I don't get the hype. Yeah, it's pricey. This is pretty much what I always get every time I go in there now. That's about it. Slide into the food court again, Someway said. Next thing you know, Someway will be talking about Subway. $15 for a gas station sandwich. Chris said, "Do I have a 3D printed insert for installation driver for pack out?" No, I just keep I keep my installation driver in my drawers in my truck, and then I keep my custom drawers that I built with all my other power tools. And normally I always kept that head on it, and I just, for the life of me, can't imagine where I would have taken it off and then not put it right back on. So I almost kind of think it's loose in my truck somewhere, but because normally I keep all the heads in one of my pack out drawers in one of the little cubbies, all the other ones, and then I get them out if I need them. But I don't know. Lexi didn't have any jobs planned today. Bought 2 yogurts for lunch, and then boss pulled a big job. Had to install 3 levels of scaffolding. Starving when I got home. I'm not a sandwich. Clint Coves just saw Great Lakes. Okay, I'll get on there and look then. That's where I got that anvil at. Man, see, whenever I see stuff like that, it's like, I didn't even think about it, but it's like, because it costs for shipping from them. And I probably could have paid the same shipping and got that head. But then a part of me is like $34. I could hack it and get the whole entire new one for $119. Clint Coles on the case. Subway sandwiches are the best. What sandwiches do y'all? I mean, Subway's a pretty big thing. Most people probably eat there. I don't eat there very often, but what's y'all's go-to Subway sandwich? Mine's always been the meatball marinara. No telling what Subway's meatballs are made out of. You have Sheets in your area? No, I've never heard of that. you'll go and buy the replacement part and end up finding. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is, because for the life of me, I can't imagine myself taking it off my tool. Because anytime I have it on my tool, the only time I would take it off in that instance would be because I couldn't get into wherever I was going, and I would have took my bit and put it in there without it. And then anytime I've ever done that, I always, as soon as I'm done with whatever that is, I put it back on there. But I also usually store the tool with that one on there, so that's the only thing that's kind of throwing me off. But I kind of need to get in my pack out drawers and dig around and make sure for some reason it just didn't get put in underneath something else or something. Spicy Italian. Jersey Mike's 13. Now, Jersey Mike's, which one's is it number 8? Is the club sandwich with the bacon. That's the one I always get at Jersey Mike's. The Boss is a meatball sub with pepperoni on it. Yep, that's good. Pub subs, y'all. Boom. Is that Publix? Is that what pub subs are? We're supposed to be getting a Publix in my town. Firehouse subs. We have one of those. Now, Firehouse subs, I've only ate there probably twice. But they had some kind of a meatball sub, and they put it on garlic butter bread or something like that. It was a limited time thing. And I went there just to get that because that was during the time when I was tearing out the Bed Bath & Beyond, and the Firehouse Subs was right next to it. So I just walk over there. That's the few times I've ever even eat there. I like Jimmy John's. Footlong Chicken Bacon Ranch. Triple bacon. Clint beat me. Oh, it's time for dinner. Thanks for reminding me. Always a cold cut, sometimes a pizza if I'm feeling frisky. Plain Jane. Put Mrs. Maintenance on the missing head case. Tell Miss Maintenance Happy Mother's Day from us all. Y'all have a great weekend. Yeah, my Subway, I don't know if they still have pizzas or not. They used to have like they put them on the flatbread or something like that. I don't know if I don't eat at Subway that often anymore. I usually don't even eat like until I get home most days. Public Sub's the best besides Firehouse. Thunderclouds, Slotskis. Now, we have a Slotskis. It's over pretty close to the Buc-ee's. And I just recently got a sandwich there. Me and Miss Maintenance went there and got one. We went to go get something else, and whatever it was closed. And we said, we'll go try Slotskis because we never had it before. And it was pretty good. Look at us all on the tool chat talking about food. That's what it always turns into, is veto bags or food or a few carts on certain Amazon job sites gave Morgan's Maintenance stickers on them. Penn Station Subs, we've got one of those. Their fries are really good at the Penn Station Subs place. They're kind of expensive too. But their sandwiches are pretty big, but they're kind of expensive. All of my Subways closed and became Jersey Mike's. I like Jersey Mike's better than Subway, sandwiches wise. Jersey Mike's is my favorite fast food sandwich. B1062 said. Yeah, I got on a Jersey Mike kick for a while. All of us did. Like my oldest son, he still goes there a lot. But yeah, I'd go there and get the number 8. I think that's what number it is. Number 8, if that's the club with bacon. Penn Station's the Five Guys of the sandwich world. Yeah, it's pricey. Look for the missing head in the Little Debbie box. Wife has limited my lunch money during the week, going from job to job with spending $120 a week. It can get expensive eating out. We was just talking about this with some friends of ours the other day. We go to a Mexican restaurant here in my town, and they've got a hamburger that's like $10, and it is huge. Like, and it's really good. And you can get it like as just dressed like cheese, lettuce, tomato, and just like a normal hamburger, or you can get it. It's called a Mexican burger, and they put like pico and avocado and stuff on top of it. But it's like $10, and it is a big hamburger, and you get French fries and all that stuff with it. And I was just telling them, I was like, man, if you go to McDonald's today, which I never eat at McDonald's, but I just know how much it is. You can't get you go get a Big Mac and some fries and stuff, you're going to pay more than that for it. And it, like, hamburger wise, it ain't even close. So like eating out is crazy expensive now. Like it's gotten crazy expensive. The oil and vinegar from Jersey Mike's gets it done. Yeah, if you don't get it with the sauce on it at Jersey Mike's, you're missing out. Hog wings, part of a pig's leg. You checked out any OTF razor knives? No. No, knives are something I haven't really got into as much. Like, well, I was kind of like flashlights. I wasn't real big into flashlights until I've been doing these tool reviews, and people started sending me Olights and stuff. And like now I'm like, man, there's a big difference between a good flashlight and a bad flashlight. Mike's Way. That's what I was trying to think of. If you don't get a Jersey Mike sandwich Mike's Way, you're missing out. And they're even better, really, if you go get one and then like get it to go and take it with you and let the Mike's Way juice kind of soak into your bread a little bit more. It's even better. Wawa makes a good hamburger. McDonald's is crap. Quick snack between jobs can definitely add up. That's just like gas stations get me almost every day, because like if I stop to get a drink, it's always, oh, you got to buy 3 of them to get them at this price, or you buy one, it's the same price as buying 2, or whatever. So then every time I go in to get one drink, I end up buying 3, and then I'll bring some home and put them in the refrigerator. I started putting the pinverters on all my Joey Hostry pouches. Yeah, I like them. I like those way better than the clip. And then the way I've been doing mine, I don't know if you've seen, Tim, if you can put the pinverters and still leave the clip on there, that's what I've been doing with mine, and that's been nice. I don't think I've got any of them in here, but that makes them to where I can still clip them in my truck with the clip, but then use the pinverters whenever I'm actually using them. Who loads a collier? I don't know what who loads a collier? Plus a cooler. Oh, yeah. Who loads a cooler? I bet that's what it was. Who loads up and stores a cooler in their vans during the summer and keeps refilling with ice? Yeah, I don't ever do that. Like I said, I just started last year even with that Milwaukee cup because it was pretty big, and I started filling it up with water and ice and just letting it sit in my truck. And then that way, if I wanted something to drink, and that's primarily only if I'm doing some kind of job where I'm outside most of the day, because again, most of the time I'm working in a conditioned space, like I'm inside of a commercial building or inside someone's house. So I'm usually never like just heat exhaustion type work type stuff. And I don't even like messing with that sometimes. Like I said, most of the time, if I want something to drink, I just go to a gas station and get something out of a cooler. I keep a Yeti full of waters, pop, Powerade, and refill every 3 days with ice and put them out for my guys. Yeah, there's a guy that does all our concrete work on bigger jobs, and he's always got a cooler full of drinks and stuff all the time for all his guys. But again, if I did that kind of work, I probably would, you know. Well, I better get off here. We've been on here for longer than usual. Y'all got to have 2 lives this week. My guys get random bakery markdowns every day. Yeah, I'm a big markdown clearance at Kroger deal guy. That's where I get most of my stuff. But I'm gonna go ahead and get off here and go in, get cleaned up a little bit because I got home late. Still haven't even took a shower and all that kind of stuff yet. So I'm gonna get off here and go in there and do that. But glad to get to spend some time with you guys. Yes, the trade this Saturday is definitely probably pretty obvious what the trade is anyways, but some of you who are in his trade, if you watch these videos, you might be able to be more specific about what you think that he does within that trade. I definitely wouldn't be able to. It's not something that I'm real big into, but definitely good to look at though. But we'll see you guys on the next one. You need to go get you something to eat, Matt. See you.